Hi folks, back again. The topic of this little blurb is going to be operating in the light. And while I'm sure you haven't read the rules and regulations of being on the school board, I did read them, all of them. And there are a lot of rules about being on the school board. And one is that you need to agree to operate in the light. In quotes. And what that means is, that you'll do all of your business in public view, meaning nothing's hidden, there's no special access, no backroom deals being made here and there. And I touched briefly on this before, but this ties back, the whole redistricting thing, and I just feel compelled to again say that during that process, it was clear that they weren't operating in the light, okay? And just a brief history. Right at the very end of the process, it was clear to all those involved that there was a group of parents in the Dyer district that had special access to the people on the school board. And they, in fact, wrote their own plan and were making a lot of noise about injunctive relief and all that. And at the last meeting that we were told was going to be a workshop, meaning we will work together as a community because we so value your input, we want you to work with us to solve this issue. What actually happened was that group presented their plan, and it was virtually, they're accepted by the school board. There was no workshop, there was no real discussion, and it was very apparent that all this had been worked out in advance, okay? I don't believe that's operating in the light. Now, do I think that the parents themselves did anything wrong? No, I do not. They didn't want to be redistricted, and in fact, myself as a parent, I didn't want to be redistricted, okay? I understand why they were doing what they were doing. I'm not trying to suggest that anything was done here that was illegal or wrong by the letter of the law. I'm just saying, by the school board's own sort of code of ethics, they breached that code of ethics. And I think, that if you could get each of them one by one aside and, talk to them, off the record, what they would say is, that they regret that happened. But, they were in a bind, because it was decided to tie the redistricting effort to the budget vote, which is which sort of in and of itself was the wrong thing to do. It was done primarily to limit discussion and create an artificial timeline on the redistricting proposal. So at the very end of this, the school board was in a bind, because if this group of parents did follow through and you seek legal recourse, then in fact it would throw the whole budgeting process right into chaos. And so, because of that, I believe that they did what they did. They had to get this thing put to bed in time for it to go to a vote. And I find that extraordinarily disappointing, and I think that the real issue here is that it's going to have a long-lasting effect in terms of the way the school board is viewed, and how people view the veracity of the things that they say. That's the real damage here, is that if people lose faith in what you're doing, or have reached a point where they don't believe what you say, then you become largely irrelevant. And I think that and again, maybe I'm overblowing this whole thing. Maybe that isn't what really happened. But look, that's what I believe happened. That's what many people believe happened. And I believe it's wrong. And what I'm saying is that if I'm on the school board, something like that will never happen, because, or it won't happen without you and the public knowing about it. I'm not taking an oath of silence to be on the school board. I'm not signing my name in blood to say I'm always going to support the school board, or that I'm always going to support Superintendent Godin. She may be a fine human being, and in fact I believe she is. I'm not saying she's not. But I don't work for Mrs. Godin if I'm on the school board. And this school board acts like it works for school administration. It's a rubber stamp. And again, you maybe have got that wrong too, but that's just how, look, my opinion cannot be wrong, okay? Now maybe factually I don't have all the facts, okay? And if that's the case, then I'll be the first to stand up and say, look, I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I just don't believe that's the case, you know? The school board, you know, operates seemingly in lockstep with whatever the school administration wants. And that's not the way that it's supposed to be. You know, they can be, you know, very supportive, and in fact they should be when things make sense. But, you know, I just like to make it clear, you know, that if I do get elected onto the school board, that I don't work for the school administration. I work for the taxpayers of South Portland, meaning I'm there in my limited role to, you know, oversee the school system. And that's what I would do. While I would not want or enjoy being at loggerheads with the administration or with other people on the council. I mean, I don't, you know, whatever you think of me, you know, I just hope you know that I don't enjoy that kind of conflict. But at the same time, I'm not afraid of the conflict. I don't go along to get along. So if Mrs. Godin and her staff want support on something that I don't believe is right, then that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, I don't believe this is right. Like, I don't believe we should tie redistricting to the budget. You know, like I would say, it doesn't make a lick of sense right now to go out and propose another $50 million school renovation after we just got our butts whooped in the last vote. That's what I would say. I would say on the record as well as off the record. So, sum this all up, I don't believe there's a soul on the school board that's a bad person. I honestly don't. I just think in this instance, they got put in a really bad spot. You know, maybe not even through their doing, but they did not operate in the light as you're supposed to pledge to do. And I found that disappointing, and I guess I would just pledge that that would never happen with me on the school board. Okay? I'll be back with more later. Thanks.